All right.
We threatened to do it. We thought we would do it. It's happened. He's here. I'm here. He's there. I'm here. I'm everywhere.
Yeah, man.
What the?
Let's
okay.
do this.
So we've had a session this afternoon.
Yep.
This guy here, you may know him.
Vinyl Eyes.
Wise. Yes. Yes. The eyes of the vinyl community. His name is Jarrett New.
Hi, I'm Jarrett. Is it Jared or Jarrett?
I don't know. Who the fuck knows?
Okay.
Anyway.
How you going, everyone? It's great to be here today with Fred.
Yeah, we've had a great afternoon and
Had some sensational lunch. Fred slaved away in the kitchen while I drank myself silly. Made a magnificent minestrone.
you drank yourself silly.
Well, that's just part of the show, Fred.
Okay, all right.
I didn't really drink anything.
No.
I'm actually parched. Wouldn't mind a drink, actually. No.
Oh. So well, this is Sunday afternoon,
Yep.
and you know we've had probably what time do you arrive? It's
About
now it's not midday. It's now 5:30 in the afternoon. So yeah, a good solid session, and we played a lot of records, and we'd
Yeah.
like to share them with you.
Yeah.
When Anthony arrived, I'm going to start with the first three records because that's in the order we've done things. When Campo arrived at my joint, I was playing Einstein on the Beach by Philip Glass and Robert Wilson.
Or better known as Glass Philip.
We can't get there. We won't get there. Okay. I can't do this.
Yeah, you can, mate.
Okay.
Well, it's not as good as Jam Hammer, but it's on
no.
there. It's close.
Certainly not as good as Jam Hammer. So we were playing this record, just the first disc. If you don't know, this is avant-garde classical record which came out in 1978. It was the soundtrack, obviously, for a play, an opera, actually. And Philip Glass, you know, he's obviously a mainstay of modern classical, and this is essential. Great record box set.
Still one I'm after. I'm searching high and low for that.
Yeah, well, you'll
one
find
day.
it. It's
One
not.
day.
I mean, it's you know, I ordered online. You know, probably maybe a year ago or something.
Wrath Down Records or something to find it.
But you know, you'll find it. And then, so we're having lunch. We're having some minestrone. And I said, because Campo is really quite into you're quite into the sound of Robbie Basher at the moment, and
Yeah, a lot of folk, sort of acoustic music.
yeah. So I said, oh, you know what? Let's play this. I showed this in my live stream last night. This is Jim O'Rourke with Bad Timing from 1997 on
That was
Drag
great.
City.
That was really, really good.
So I talked about it last night. I don't want to expand too much on it, but it's kind of like a John Fay-esque record. And then, again, so a record that I've talked about in my live video last night. And then I played Moon Rappin', the title track, Brother Jack McDuff, which is a really solid organ groover. I mean, amazing. And the guitar on it is top notch too. Big organ. And then
Okay.
Campo.
I bought some records over to share the love, and so I started with this. It's Ali Akbar Khan, Pre-Dawn to Sunrise Ragas and Morning Ragas, and yes, we played the Morning Ragas.
Yeah, it was really fucking awesome.
Very deep Indian
yeah,
classical.
Yeah, what a great.
Released on Philips as a Japanese-only release, actually, from 1978.
Yeah.
Stunning.
Yeah, the shit really amazing release. Really deep, spiritual. Everything you'd expect from an Indian record of that time, and really well recorded, beautiful.
Yeah.
So then I thought, because the name of the game here when we get together is just try to follow each other's in a sort of a segue kind of a story building with songs. So then I thought, oh well, you know, something that sounds a bit like this. So I pulled out this Fawzi El Ayadi. He is an Iraqi singer-songwriter.
Is that your doppelganger there on the front cover?
It is me. It's actually me. Okay, let's try and sleeve phase this. There we go. He plays the oud, or the, what does he play? What instrument? The oud, and other sort of Arabic instrument. And this is really kind of brooding, dark. The vocals are just really crisp, and the band is
super tight.
Super tight.
French players.
Yeah, French players. But this is an Iraqi singer. This is from 1979, and I bought this in France a couple of years ago. But it's beautiful.
Then stunning release.
Then we've segued this with some more of that kind of music.
So this is a release from last year. It's Khaled Courbet and Rahman Khalef Ensemble. You
may want to show the. Can you see that there? Oh yeah, you can. Yeah,
it's hard to see.
Yeah.
The album's called Amorphms. Released in 2017 on Between Buttons, K7 Records. So it's out of Germany. It's a really nice sort of contemporary jazz, Western jazz with a heavy Middle Eastern influence.
Oh look, I was floored by this.
Beautifully recorded. This is a wonderful release.
I was floored by this. This is just a killer sort of Middle Eastern sounding record. It just you know.
But just the way they mix the I guess the Western sounds and the Middle Eastern sounds is very, very tasteful. Class,
beautiful.
Class right throughout.
And so we continue the Middle Eastern bracket with a record from Lebanon. This is Mosaic of the Orients by Elias Rabbani. We go, the name is there. This is a super groovy, super funky.
Yeah, awesome. Quite sort of poppy in sections as well.
Yeah, poppy, funky. I mean, look, it's really some jazz funk played on Arabic instrument, really, if you think about it. It's kind of funky, poppy jazz played. But it is an absolute groover, and it's no wonder this is a very sought after disc, because crate diggers and beat makers would use this a lot to get some samples out of this. And Elias Rabbani, as I say, is from Lebanon, and it says everything that you need to know. Nai, bouzuk, and guitar. That's what you hear on this. These are the instruments. Then we changed the pace with
Ray Barretto, The Other Road. We played side B on this. This is an absolute masterpiece, I feel. Side one's just a standard, I guess, salsa, Latin jazz record. Yeah. But side two is where the magic happens.
Side two, it was just a really smoking record, like everything you expect from it.
It's sort of kind of proggy in a way.
Yeah.
Maybe even sort of Electric Miles.
Yeah.
To an extent. Yeah. A masterful record.
Highly recommended.
As you can see here, this is the Belgian release.
Yes. Belgian release, yes, indeed. Those Belgian pressings are really sought after.
With the Phobie strip.
Yeah, the Phobie strip. It's called a Brussels sprout. It's what it is. It's called it's not an Obi strip. It's
the Bruges.
It's a Brussels sprout.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is. So, since we were in this sort of Latin mood, I went into my Latin section and I thought, let's just check an old favorite, and this is Caravanserai by Santana, and this is a killer record. In case you've been sleeping on a rock, feeding from the roots of a tree, you know that you've never heard of this guy Santana, and if you think like half of the population that Santana is just Santana and Rob Thomas, well, just forget about it, as they say in the song. This is an absolute masterpiece. This record. Cosmic Latin.
That was actually the perfect segue, because that Barretto has a very similar sound to what that does.
Beautiful. This is a cheap record that can be had by anybody for about $10. If you see this, grab it, and if you don't grab it, feel sorry for yourself.
You're an idiot. After that, I played. Didn't bring the cover because I've got this as a box set, and I didn't want to drag the whole friggin' box set with me. It's New York Soul, released back in maybe '98 or something like that. You might know them as Masters at Work, house producers. I think they're from Florida, I believe.
Sounded great.
Yeah, this is their jazz record. We played side B on this. We played More Latin Blues and Got a New Life. This is a 45 RPM DJ la-di-da wank sort of pressing.
The right sort of wank.
Fantastic.
So yes, Grupo Yoyi, a Cuban band. It's kind of a rare record. This is a reissue on Black Pearl.
They do great stuff, I reckon, Black Pearl. Yeah. Some really nice reissues.
So what do you think of Grupo Yoyi?
Yeah, great. Really, really nice.
Really kind of psychedelic salsa, you know, kind of like sort of
a very kind of electronic as well.
Yeah, and
sort of the synths going on and stuff.
Elements of jazz fusion as well. Well, this in Cuba would be, well, you know, these are records that are almost impossible to find and very expensive. Like it's probably like a $500 record for an original. This is a 1977 from Havana, Grupo Yoyi, a masterpiece, really. I mean, just in every sense of the term. And then we changed
direction completely. Niels Fram, Spaces, his live record from 2013. I don't know what to say about this.
Well, it's experimental.
Yeah, really nice, contemporary, classical, electronic kind of stuff. Really good. I don't know what else to say.
A great avant-garde record, which I hadn't heard and played.
Quite spacious, quite ethereal. Yeah. Beautiful recording as well. I think that's one of the highlights of it as well. Highly recommend it. This is a really, really nice record.
Yeah. Absolutely, yes. And then I followed it with a record from Quebec, from French-speaking Canada. This is Dion Brejean. I'll just get the... actually, this is the back cover. You can read the name at the top there. Dion Brejean. They're a duo of electronic musicians. There they are, the inner sleeve. And this was in the very same vein as Niels Fram, kind of a bit glitchy, a bit I mean, it's a progressive electronic record from 1970, well, from the late 70s, 76, okay. And, you know, I think I hadn't played for a while, but I quite enjoyed it. What do you think?
I loved it. It was really, really good. It was actually the perfect segue. And it's like you said, like you haven't played it in a while, but that's what makes these days so great, where you can just pull out stuff that you haven't played in years and reminisce like Air Supply. All right. We played this next. It's the compilation on Light in the Attic. Even a Tree Can Shed Tears, Japanese folk and rock from 69 to 73.
We played 3 tracks, the first 3 tracks, and I was blown away by this. It's brilliant.
It is. It's very consistent. I've spoken about this on my comps video. Consistent all the way through. Beautiful package as well, where you get Japanese and English lyrics, and they talk about each album sort of in some detail. Sensational.
Oh, beautiful. Like, it sort of reminded me of things that I'd heard before, but without being obvious. It prompted me to play tracks from 2 different albums that sort of... because this evoked things in my head. So I played the second track of this Canadian singer-songwriter, Roger Rodier. It's called Upon Velvet Shore.
Is it Roger?
Roger. Well, no, Roger is actually a French library music composer. You know,
really.
You know, Nino Nardini. Roger says.
Okay, yeah.
You know, so this has got a track called "My Spirit's Calling." It's got this wonderful theremin solo in the middle of it, which is just so, you know, spacious and expansive, and and we played the whole track, and I hadn't played for a while, and I was like, oh, this sounds really great.
Yeah.
But
You'll be playing that in full, I reckon, soon in the next few days.
It's a beautiful record.
Yeah.
And then, so that reminded me a bit of this, and also we played almost an entire set of the Barretto reissue. This sort of minor yacht rock, folk funk. It is folk funk. It's a minor masterpiece in my opinion. I mean, if you think of records like Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young and those kinds of that kind of era, this is up there. I reckon with it. I mean, it's instantly
sensational,
instantly
and
likable.
nicely done reissue too. Sounds great.
Yeah, beautiful. We played the first four tracks on side one.
Then we turned the tables again, and we played Mew.
I turned the record.
Afro, Finger and Soul, released in 2003. Sort of an avant-garde pop, weird Japanese.
It reminded me a bit of MIA in bits.
Yeah, computer game type music with sort of screechy vocals. The great thing about this record is that no two tracks are the same. The production is absolutely outstanding. There's so much going on within each track. We only played one track, but the whole record goes from one genre to the next to another genre, and even within the tracks, the bridges are completely different to what's going on regarding for the rest of the track.
It
really
is,
weird.
Yeah.
Reminded me of sound like Flying Lizards or something like that. Yeah. Just sort of odd pop. But kind of electro sounding.
Yeah, off kilter. A bit like I said, a bit like MIA with video game soundtrack wedged into it.
Japanese game show sort of naked sort of stuff.
Like last night on the live stream, I was showing this record, the Plux Cuba by Nino Cannavaro, and I thought it would be a worthy segue to this, but it's a lot more glitchy, kind of
more minimal,
a lot more minimal. Kind of like an ancestor to a Boards of Canada or sort of an Aphex Twin record.
Without the beats.
Without the beats, yeah, that's right. Approach with caution, this one. It's not a record that, you just need to...
be in the mood, I think.
1988, we played a few short tracks. And then, did you
No, it was a CD after that.
No,
it was that one.
Then I chucked a track from the Illich record, which is... a French post-punk kind of what would you call
experimental
electronic, every sort of bizarre music genre that we can put next to each other, like
Swedish black metal, post-punk, pop,
polka,
private press.
Private press.
It's a private press.
Private press. A run of 2 only. All right.
That's what makes it good.
So Illich was a French band. And what did it sound like? I guess like a post-punk version of a sort of I don't know.
It's like a Heavy Helden sort of.
Heavy Helden. That's right. Just
more
10 Suicide, and then
I played this, which is artist out of Germany, Rival Consoles, and the album Hell. We played side A. Electronic, techno-y sort of, released on Erased Tapes 2015, I believe. Yeah. Really nice, I guess, techno record. Nothing too heavy, nothing too offensive. Just, really good techno.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was
nothing more to add for that.
It was good. And then to segue this, I pulled out a CD. And I said to Campo, I said, if you can guess what this is a very common artist, but the B-sides, because this is a CD which gathers the album plus the B-sides. And the CD is a McCartney 2. See, we've got he's between the two of us and he's going,
what the fuck?
So McCartney 2 is... a solo McCartney album which he did at home by himself with, like, he discovered synths and he just went sick with but then there's a couple of tracks on the B side. There's a song called Check My Machine, and then Secret Friend. Both tracks really, apparently in Brazil, those tracks are dance floor fillers because they're B-sides of, I think Secret Friend was a B-side of Temporary Secretary or Waterfalls or something. So if you find the 7-inch or something, you can get those, but this is a great way of getting it.
It's such a shame that they actually weren't on the A-side or on record, on the album. It's a shame that he recorded these songs and shoved them to a B-side.
But it's such great tunes.
Yeah, they were superb. I would never have picked it as Paul McCartney.
And then you...
I played this.
Yeah.
This Street Dancer, self-titled. This is a VCLT from Chris Gold. If
Hello,
you're watching,
Chris.
Thank you very much. This is splendid all the way through. Some really nice, lively
It
jazz.
came to my house, Chris.
Some lively sort of jazz fusion, jazz funk from 1974. Thank you very much, mate. I appreciate it muchly.
So,
it's sensational.
When we were listening to this jazz funk, jazz fusion, I thought, the other day I was here with Christian Mizzi and we were having a session and I played him this South American record, which kind of reminded me a little bit of this, but in a different kind of style and more sort of like, you know, I guess, yeah, Latin style. And this record is a record featuring George Lopez Ruiz, and this is called Viejas Raíces. It's a record from 1976, which has got really progressive sounds for the time.
Yeah.
And
progressive production as well. Some of the tracks.
And the second last track, if you want to hear this online, the second last track, it's called Eterna Presencia.
Was that side 2 or side
2? Yeah, side 2. Eterna Presencia. It invents DJ Shadow and Massive Attack.
Yeah.
30 years earlier. I mean, is that right?
Yeah. It's proto Massive Attack.
Yeah, you listen
it's
to...
like 2 generations
There's
before.
like a 3-second sound where you go, that's Massive Attack. These guys have it. So, yeah, you know, Massive Attack invented in 1976 by a bunch of Argentinian bozos. Yeah.
That's true.
And then...
That's it. I'm done.
He's done. And then finally, we are playing a record that I've shown 10 times already, but yeah. This is Rio Fukui, Rio Fuck Off, which is called Scenery. Sorry for the bad language. You know.
Look, mate,
I mean,
you're all adults.
if you're offended,
write me a letter.
Then don't watch.
PO Box 555.
Yes.
Croydon North.
So this has got really cheesy, sentimental kind of moments. And also has some really killer, sort of funky moments. So approach with caution as well. And it's like,
but that's I think that's the case with a lot of the Japanese 70s jazz. Stuff on Three Blind Mice has that sort of feel as well, where you know, some of it's tasty, and the other it's funded by the Dairy Corporation.
Yeah, cheesy. Okay. But we've had a terrific afternoon.
Yeah, it's fantastic, mate.
And
loved it.
And Campo, it's what time is it now? 5:50. He's got to make tracks to his wife,
my beloved wife,
his beloved wife, who is she making dinner for you or?
Tonight she is. I'm usually the cook.
Yeah.
I love to cook just with an apron on.
Yes.
Not much.
I could, I could.
Not
see
much
it.
else.
But is it totally hygienic?
Oh no.
No.
That's out of the question.
And I am here with my lovely wife, but she's here in spirit.
She's here in spirit.
She's
all around us.
She's all around. So if you've enjoyed this for some reason, because you're weird, because why would you enjoy this nonsense? And if you're a fan of Glass Phillip, most importantly, and of Vinyl Eyes, that's very, very, very important. Because, I mean, who are we? We us simple people of the vinyl community, we know nothing, and, we are just so, there's a nothingness about us. What do you think?
That's right. Oh, I totally agree.
It's But we love you all.
Thank you.
And if you want to interact, just leave a comment. And but don't be offensive. Your mum wouldn't appreciate.
No. Bye-bye.